I just finished up the first draft of a kitchen design of one of the kookiest layouts ever. Look at this thing! How builders can take a square box house on the outside and turn it into just geometric madness on the inside is beyond me. When you're designing, you're going to come across things like this in every space. A nook, maybe a wall, it could be a door or a window, something that is going to stop your design right in its tracks. Now today's problem is all about a space that is kind of tight, kind of awkward, and need to fit a kitchen, a dining, and a living room. The major problem here was where to put them. And there were a few constrictions, a few must-haves, if you will, from this client that they really wanted to include in the space. So first and foremost, a properly functional kitchen with as much countertop space as possible. Double doors entering out onto the terrace, a proper dining table, a love seat, at least somewhere to sit and watch TV, and finally, in an ideal world, they were also hoping to have a window that could open up and create sort of an indoor-outdoor space from the countertop inside the kitchen to a bar seating out on the terrace. And when I'm doing stuff like this, it makes me incredibly jealous that I do not live somewhere warmer. Now, thankfully, I did have a few tools at my disposal. First of all, I could put the windows and doors anywhere in that terrace wall I wanted because it was being ripped out. In fact, it had already been ripped out. And second of all, I could put the kitchen anywhere I wanted because all of the electrical and plumbing had to be redone anyways. So I did have somewhat of a blank canvas. Now this particular client had already been given 3 previous designs from their builder or contractor, someone more local to them, but they all came with some sort of drawbacks. In the first design, the sink faced away from the view, lacked countertop and storage space. The second had even less storage space, and the sink is still facing away from the view out onto that terrace. And in the third, it was better, more countertop working room, the sink faced the right direction, though oddly it was still partly in front of the window, but you also get that odd corner angle and what will become an annoyance for accessibility down the road. Now, if you noticed in those first 2 options, there was a nook or a corner that sort of became a dead zone and could have been put to better use. In the third design, they did make use of that corner by adding a dining table there and a banquette sort of style of seating. However, I would argue that having your table and chair half into the hallway or that main entrance into the living area isn't much better either. So what I did know is that corner was going to become a very crucial part of my design going forward. So what approach did I take in this particular space? The first was to move the kitchen to the largest part of the room. This also meant I was working with 90-degree corners, could place the sink under the window for that indoor-outdoor countertop, and still have loads of room for double doors and another window. I combined the dining table and island to maximize the floor space. This let me keep a real dining table in the room while also adding a small island for more prep work and more countertop space when working in the kitchen. And finally, with the kitchen on this side of the living space, I could now incorporate that nook that otherwise would have been wasted space by adding a little bit more storage and a little more functionality. It is really easy for us to focus in on only our kitchen space and develop blinders of sorts to the rest of the room or the adjoining spaces around our kitchens. Now in this particular condo, that little nook area easily could have wound up as wasted floor space. And as we all know, most of the time when we have wasted floor space, it becomes a pseudo dumping ground for those objects around our home that don't really have a permanent home of their own. Instead, I extended the living room wall to make this space feel purposeful and as though it was always designed to be this way. In the nook, I added a tall pantry that could be used for extra food storage or as a cleaning/broom closet. In addition, there's an extra 90 centimeters or 36 inches of countertop space that can be used as a coffee or wine bar, helping to keep the main kitchen countertop less cluttered. To tie the design together and help make this nook feel like part of the kitchen, I used the same deep green or olive cabinet color from the kitchen wall cabinets for the cabinets in the nook, including the glass front doors for the wall cabinets. If you find yourself hitting a wall in your own design, maybe quite literally, take a step back and look at more than just your kitchen's natural footprint. Those surrounding rooms or adjoining corners may actually have a little bit of space that can be put to better use.